Okay, yes, here we go again. Woo, it's a Monday. Um, and yeah, stuff happened over the weekend. We got more insanity from Charlie Kirk's whole thing of his death, which again, I may not have liked the guy, but did he deserve to die? No. It actually brought more harm than good. Because if you think about it, we had England had a rally declared by the far right. Now everybody is at each other's throats. Most of it, if I had to pick a side, was coming from the right, saying that they're now an existential threat. People are being fired for their opinions, which freedom of speech. But of course, you have the whole thing with people being part of a business. But anyway, if I had an intro, this would where it would be where it would be. But I'm Tech Mini. Welcome. I will get this out of the way. The opinions expressed by Techmanian do not have any relevance to Brook in the Air. They are two separate entities. While um, donations to Patreon may go to Brook in the Air, that is only because of the functional level to get it done, and she has an expanded business. If you decide to donate or ask questions, feel free. I will give you my honest answer. And because these are my opinions and nobody else's. So take that as you will. Anyway, on to the shenanigans. So between Charlie Kirk's death, which again, he may have said some things, but again, those are opinions that nobody necessarily deserves to die for. And we're probably going to keep rehashing this over and over again. However, the ironic fact is that he was talking about gun violence right when he was shot, and he said, and I quote, "Some people have to die to keep the Second Amendment." Now, as stated before, firearms owner. Yes, I am one. Do I personally believe that you should have to go through the entire rigmarole plus potentially a psychological check? Yeah. Do I believe it could be abused? Also, yes. But again, that is entirely what everybody decides to do. Not everybody should just willy-nilly have access to firearms. That's dumb. Because certain people should never be anywhere close to firearms. But that's just my opinion. So, getting into now the biggest part of the news is out of the way. We could go on and talk about the sports, but honestly, I don't really care that much. And plus, it's very early on. People have gotten broken. Does football need to be handled?
You know,
Yep. Well, we're in 2 weeks, and yes, our closest, which is San Francisco. A lot of times people will be saying, "Well, why don't you care about the Raiders? They're in Vegas.
they're Vegas now.
Nobody cares about Vegas."
They went from Oakland to LA, back to Oakland, now Vegas.
Yeah. For those of you who it sounds low, that is actually that is our friendly Brooke in the Air giving her opinions from the side. Yes, you can see the random hand. And again, she will give her opinions as well because this is more political and opinionated, whereas hers is travel. So yes, feel free to check on Brooke in the Air. But again, I digress. Going through a lot of the more local news, there's been a lot of things happening. Whether it's the continued issue with the homeless that everybody seems to be freaking out about.
The classes divide.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. Of course, I could also talk about the whole sideshow where people were arrested, which was Oakland Street takeovers, but that was 2 days ago.
As much as people want to focus on the Bay Area, it's really nationwide.
Yeah. Where let's see, so and this has a realm of everything else. So the largest ICE detention center in Kern County in California reopened. So we'll see what happens.
Nothing good.
Yeah. I mean, who knows for all of this?
It's the sanction of their Auschwitz.
I wouldn't necessarily say another Auschwitz because while they are setting up people to potentially be let out, they're not necessarily killing them on site yet. But that does actually lead us into the fact of a lot of immigrants in public schools are absolutely freaking out within reason because, again, ICE doesn't do their due diligence. They never have.
They aren't trained to either.
Well, it's not that they aren't. Well, I mean, they're following the same thing as customs used to. It's like, oh, yes, big influence coming in, and oh my God. So everybody freaks out, legitimately so, because, again, when you have thuggish idiots running around, what do you expect to have happen? They're going to break things.
My family was killed, as you know, in the Shoah, and we know what deportation to the East means.
Right. And while a lot of people would use the Jewish comparison, it's one thing that they have that done. I'm not discounting the Jewish comparison. I'm saying that in reality, and yes, this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, the members of that, meaning those people in Germany, did it all in a very ruthless and efficient manner. Not saying it was good, but
state-organized industrial genocide.
Yeah, but it was done with the amount of information gathering that they wanted. Yes, they tweaked the information, but at least they did the information gathering and at least had some level of show trial for a lot of them that were higher up.
Those that were higher up.
Yeah,
but I
but
mean, for the most part,
yeah, the lower ones they didn't. At the same time, yeah, at the same time they had an efficient manner of doing it. Whereas I would say that American ICE right now is basically a bunch of flailing idiots.
They are.
They have spent more time dragging people. They put more effort into the going to places and dragging people than they do actually checking on that. And we're also looking at that going, oh wow, they got some of theirs from cops. It's not just cops. You have security guards and all that. And these are people who couldn't even pass getting into the police academy. Now, that's a low bar.
They're offering high school dropouts and not even high school graduates by any means. $100,000 a year.
Yeah, let's actually, you know what? For kicks and giggles, let's take a look at this. So, yes, I literally pulled up Immigration and Customs Enforcement right now just for hilarity. Yes, you heard me. Wow, they have a historian looking for. Yes. So, ICE has a lot of different positions open. Like, dear Lord, 4 pages. So I'm not even going to go through that. Department of Homeland Security. Wow. Anyway, sorry. Getting distracted.
He tends to do the shiny object syndrome.
Yes. SOS. So, but anyway, through all this, we're looking at the fact of, again, as addressed before, why things cost more. Once you get rid of your low-income workers or your lowest-income workers who know how to do certain things, you should expect things to go up in price. It's the same thing as why fuel costs so much in California. Now, am I saying that the fuel for California the fuel prices don't go to a good place? No. However, I will say that since it is based on oil and you turn it into gasoline, while gasoline is burnable, the oil from your cars is not. You can have that filtered and have that resold. But again, like with plastics, people don't want to reuse. There's the same thing with technology. People have this horrible affinity to say, oh no, I don't want to reuse again. Hello? You can reuse a great many things. There is no sense in not using something till it can't be used anymore. But again, it may not work as well. Whether it's our phones, our tablets, or anything, our computers, everything is designed to eventually fail. Because again, planned obsolescence makes money. That's the way it is. But, I mean, just walking around here in Oakland, specifically the other day, I think it was the day after the last show, we saw a homeless person who had literally made an entire house out of cardboard boxes, like the one you see sitting behind me. Like, that level of cardboard box is impressive. She was using a TV cardboard box and had made a full-on house under a tree that I assume could stand up. And I guarantee you that sometime soon that entire place is going to be dismantled because it's unsightly. Oh yes, unsightly, you say. You ever think that it's unsightly because she doesn't have anywhere else to go? But hey, not my opinion. That is fact. Why would she be living?
Touches back on the NIMBY mentality.
Oh yeah, that gets us into NIMBY. So the home not in my backyard is not a statewide, not a countywide, not a national. It is a worldwide phenomenon of people don't like to see things that are unsightly because it ruins the view. Now, a lot of the ruining of the view is arbitrary. It really is. People sit there and think, oh no, it's going to take everything away from the wonderful land that I live in. Newsflash. The place that you live in is as clean as you want it to be. Now, looking behind me, you're like, well, Techman, you're not one to talk. There's stuff all over the place. Again, I have been here for under 2 weeks. I have not had a chance to fully unpack. Trying to get this all set up was something that I tried to do in some semblance for you guys and to make sure that I could find different things. I wanted to get back to talking to all of you. Because again, my opinions. So give it some time, it'll look pretty. So again, it takes time to clean things. You have to have the money to organize and buy furniture or anything else to put things in. You have to have time to put it together. Like, for instance, that box right there. Yeah, that one. That has been in a box for over a year now. So again, time. Calm your bad selves. I understand. When it comes to people understanding of, hey, I don't have to go around with much. Yeah, but it doesn't mean you don't want more stuff. I guarantee you that if I gave any number of you a certain amount of money, whether it be something like $200,000, which was actually suggested to us by an Uber driver the other day, of giving each person $200,000 to help them get out of homelessness. Here's the problem with that. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't manage it in time, but as anybody who just got a gigantic windfall can vouch for, you first start off with buying all the shiny things that you ever wanted in your entire life. I guarantee you don't want them. You want to have them in your hand. You want to touch them. You want to drive around in the new $60,000 car. Hell, maybe you got a Tesla. Then, very quickly, you get bored. You get tired of it. You don't want it anymore. But trying to sell it back, you will have lost money. I guarantee it.
Cars are the most depreciating products in the market.
Cars and electronics. Like, for instance, let's take this phone. This is Samsung Galaxy S25. Or S24, sorry. Ultra. I guarantee you that if I went, because I've had this for, I think, a year and a half. I guarantee that if I went online and tried to sell it right now, it will have lost probably about 70% of its value.
Yeah, as soon as you drive a new car off a lot, it'll lose 15,000 of its value.
Exactly. I have discovered that very much because trying to sell things on eBay, you will massively lose anything of what you made. It is without a doubt. And that's not even counting if something gets damaged. For example, my father has a BMW. His whole choice. He pays, I believe it's between insurance and car payments, probably about $1,500 a month. I know, absolutely insane. I personally,
over half a rent.
Yeah, I personally told him not to get it, but again, people decide to do things. The man is, I think, 70 years old, something around there. Anyway, he has lost that depreciation so much, it's almost ridiculous. He doesn't even drive the dang thing anymore because he got it in kind of a wreck. Again, his choice. But it makes the same thing of that any car, no matter what, is going to become harder and harder to avoid. And that's not just with the tariffs, because the tariffs present a whole nother problem, because that is passed on to us as the consumer. Every single thing we buy will cost more. For example, this is a framework laptop. It is made in Taiwan. It was purchased right after the tariff, so I know it costs more. But those who are buying it now, it would end up costing more as well. That is what we have to deal with right now, because certain people, and again, I'm not going to name names right off the bat, because obviously you have to have been living under a rock not to see where I'm going. The tariffs are passed on to the consumers. And just like with what certain other people on YouTube covered with buy now, pay later, again, those also get passed on to people. So whether you're using buy now, pay later like Klarna or anything like that, and because of the tariffs, things, any of your buy now, pay laters, Afterpay, Affirm, all that, any of them are going to be passed on to the consumer by the merchant, aka who you're buying it from. Like, for instance, if you buy something from a seller, Walmart, what have you, I'm just using those as examples. I'm not singling them out. Will then jack up the prices for everybody because they can't control who does it. Now, is it a good thing? No, not really. Anytime that we end up having to pay more, we don't get paid more for what we do. People will not have the ability to pay all their bills while also getting their shiny stuff, which comes back to the fact that $200,000, when you think about it, once you go on a spending spree, is not a lot of money. For example, both myself and Brooke in the Air had a windfall that happened recently, probably about 6 months ago now, maybe even less. Yeah. It was a windfall of about, let's call it, $60,000. We burned through 90% of it already, and we were frugal.
But we still have enough to cover at least 2 more runs front.
Yeah. We are doing fine, but at that same time, we did not choose to buy a car. We were not paying rent at the time. We used it to pay bills and move. Now, for those of you who say, oh, but you can take the move off your taxes. Yeah, I can do that. I also have to plan for the fact that that windfall was not taxed at the time. So they're kind of going to cut each other out, if not worse.
Overall, it should be,
Yeah.
It means no refund, but we won't be always either.
Yeah. And the most important part is a zero-sum game when it comes to taxes, because if you get money back, okay, that's just better. But at the same time, you should never expect money back. Just be happy when you don't owe, and if you don't get any money back, okay. Now, that is for normal people. When it comes to CEOs, business owners, and all that, don't even get me started on y'all.
Start.
CEOs, you are not actually job creators. Shut up. You did not do anything special. You are content to basically be Scrooge McDuck without the fun. You also use absolute tax havens that none of the rest of us have the ability to. You make lawyers and accountants rich, who you then have been set up to find loopholes. Then what you do is you go on to your philanthropic ideals of bullshit. Yes, we're at past 22 minutes right now, so YouTube, I am going to swear. You get to your levels of bullshit where you can sit there and have money, and even then, it's not enough. You must have more, because you have the people underneath you who you are paying so little that they have to have multiple jobs. Why? For instance, if somebody goes to work for Amazon as a driver, you can pay them roughly $20 an hour, if not more, easily, without jacking up the prices for all the rest of us. Because, let's be honest, Jeff Bezos, we know you have almost everything we need. We know this. We are not surprised. We like the convenience. However, when it comes to delivery drivers for Amazon, whether they're using their own vehicle or whether they're using an actual labeled vehicle, if they get paid money on piecemeal, all that is congratulations, you are telling them that, hey, the sooner you get things done, the more money you get paid. So they're driving around like a crazy person. What do we expect to have happen? Oh yes, bad things. Shocker. I am so shocked. And here's the thing that I just don't understand why everybody would be willing to do this. We sit there and we want instant gratification and everything. But we never think about who has to provide that instant gratification. Somebody always has to provide it. It's where your whole thing with not necessarily the haves and the have-nots come in. There's a pie. There's the providers, and I guess you would call them the requesters. And that's where you're getting into there of somebody has to provide something. Somebody has to program the drones. Somebody has to do the deliveries. And somebody is always going to have everything. Sorry. Someone is going to have to provide that item. Like, I'm ordering a couple things from Amazon today. Of course, what do I do when it starts getting close to time? Oh my God, I must watch it. I'm here on my phone, and I'm here and go, yes, I must know exactly when it's going to arrive, you guys. And that then bleeds over to everything else. It's, yes, I'm going to bash you for a second, Meta. It's, oh my God, how many followers do I have? How many followers did I lose? Same thing here with YouTube. Oh my God, how many subscribers do I have? Who has watched the video? Oh Lord. Because I know I don't set this stuff up for a lot of people to look at and like, oh, I have to hit the algorithms. I have to hit the search engine optimization. Yeah, I could do all that, but I'm not a... No. I'm making fun of people in general. Because, again, it's the whole idea of clickbait. Sorry. Brooke in the Air asked a question, and because she is focused on a lot of that, trying to get her channel out. And if I was making fun of the fact that so many different channels have to be so clickbaity, they have to be so shiny, they have to have these weird and wonderful things of, oh Lord, we must sit there. So it becomes a total thing of, yes, I'm going to use the quote, notice me senpai. It really becomes that. It's like, oh my God, yes. And the news has embraced that. Everybody has embraced that. We're more concerned about clicks. We're more concerned about the shiny objects. We're more concerned about the fact that we must provide a shock. And now that we've become used to the shock, we're then wanting more. Whether we want to sit there and blame the mainstream media or anybody else, we have become a society of gratification, especially instant. We have become a shock society. And going back to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I guarantee you, give it a week, give it a month, we all will have forgotten about the assassination of Charlie Kirk exactly like we have forgotten and not even cared about school shootings. We'll do all the preventative measures, but we'll sit there and we'll argue about the reason it happened for a little while. We'll sit there and go, shame, shame, shame. It will be guns are bad, mental health is bad, political rhetoric is bad, all those things. But we're never going to actually solve the problem because solving a problem isn't sexy, much like healthcare. Yeah, thoughts and prayers. Like, seriously, in my opinion, and yes, going back to, again, Charlie Kirk, because big news, I personally think that because of what he said, and he pissed off a lot of people, it was going to happen eventually. Why it happened, specifically from the shooter, is something that only he will know. Only he will know the why. And I don't think Utah will ever get an answer out of him. A complete answer that will satisfy. Yeah. Now, as Brooke in the Air said, the Epstein files, do they need to be released? Yes. Are they ever going to be? No. They're not ever going to be released in their full entirety due to the fact that our president at the time is so worried about his image. Everything is image. Now, how does that matter with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, from different people that I've talked to, apparently had two personas. He had his personal persona, which was caring, loving, blah, blah, blah. And then he had his persona that he showed to everybody else. Now, to me, the only insult that I could give in that is that it's two-faced. You should not, and this goes for Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, everybody. What you see should be what you get. You should not provide one side to where you think that's what people want, to where you think that's what people will make you get elected. Because again, if you care more about the position and power instead of helping the people, number one, you don't need to be in elected office. You're not there for yourself. You're no, in my personal opinion, it shouldn't be a thing at all. Wanting power and everything like that should not be a reason to go into politics whatsoever. Anybody that does should be ousted or leave. You are there as a representative of the people. You are their mouthpiece to the greater people that make the decisions. The only reason we have a Congress in the first place is because we can't have the entire population of a certain area in a room. They are represented by that person. Whether it is a city council, whether it is a county seat, whether it is a state legislature, whether it is the National Congress, whether it is the UN, you there, as an elected representative are there to present what the people want and make the decision based upon what the group, not you, believes in. You should not be allowing yourself to be bribed to make your life easier. The only reason you should take any money from any corporation is if your constituency has decided that that is what they want you to do and you share it with them. When it comes to a city like Washington, D.C., no member of Congress represents the people who live in D.C. They should not be making those decisions. The same thing with Puerto Rico, the same thing with the Virgin Islands, everything else. Represent the people who live in that area. When it comes to many politicians, act in the way that those people who live in the area want you to act. You are supposed to lead from the front, be a representative of them. You are basically the general of those people. You make decisions for them. You choose what is best for them based upon listening to them, not hiding in your place of decisions and looking down upon them going, yes, I do believe this is what we need there because a certain part of the people who have given me money have deigned for it to be there. Yes, you even represent the homeless. If they are living in your city, you represent them for they are your constituents. You represent the criminals that live in your area of the city. You should spend time listening to their opinions. Find out about the people underneath you. Go meet them on a time other than just election time. Have town hall meetings. Talk to them. Get their opinions. Their opinions on some of them may be stupid. Again, that's what happens when people are angry. Angry people can give out stupid opinions. The unknowledgeable can give out stupid opinions. That happens. You still need to listen to them, not treat them like children. And again, if I were to choose a partisan side, the Republicans have had a lot of problems with that over and over again, whether it came to healthcare or when it came to tariffs or any of the other stuff or the bills that have been happening. Now, mind you, the problem with the Democrats, besides the fact that they are cowards, yes. Are Democrats a lot of times elitist? Yes, which means they don't listen. So, Democrats, if you hear this, talk to the people, listen to the people. Don't be afraid to go discuss with them and show that you are listening. You have time. And the people will love you that much more and continue to vote for you if you decide to listen to them. Not just to the ones with the loudest voices. You are the teacher. You are the principal. Trying to find out the different problems within the class of the school. Act like it. Same thing for you Republicans. Act like a leader. Don't act like a fucking douchebag. Because again, both sides, a lot of you are acting like this. Whether it comes from a place of I hate the people that live in my constituency or I'm better than them, do better or somebody else is going to take it from you and show that they can do it better. And then it will be up to the decision of whether or not they will suck. Because again, ethics, caring, act like the type of people that you profess yourself to be. Not just pointing fingers at, oh, this side did worse, this side didn't. The constituents don't care. They do not give a damn what side you're on, unless the fact of your political party is all that matters. They care if they're getting the assistance they need, they can survive the next day. For instance, California is increasing a certain amount of tax to help with mass transit.
I personally don't care how much I pay in taxes to be helpful.
Yeah. Is the bus going to be safe? Is it going to run on a consistent basis? Are the bus stops, the train stops, everything, are they going to be functional so you can get from point A to point B so you don't have to have a freaking car to pay gas or power for, to pay for parking? That's what the bus and the mass transit is there for. Point A to point B on a consistent basis. So yes, am I willing to pay extra taxes for that? Yes, because most of the population uses it. Am I willing to pay a little bit extra in taxes for roads? Yes, because again, everybody uses the roads, whether you're walking on it, biking on it, riding a motorcycle, driving a car, or taking the bus. Nobody wants the vehicle to have to bounce through potholes that are the level of destroying vehicles. When it comes to the high-speed rail, again, point A to point B. People living up north around San Francisco, San Jose, and they want to go to LA on a regular basis. That's fine. Or they want to go to from LA to Vegas for a convention. That's fine. Have the taxes, but be transparent about it. I don't want to hear that all the money is going into your fucking pockets. I don't want to hear that, or that they're going to subsidies for certain things that don't make sense. Now, on the constituent side, y'all motherfuckers need to learn how to read when something is put out. If a letter is put out that is not in legalese, that they try and sit there to make very easily explained, read it, understand it, ask questions. Some of y'all are choosing to be stupid, to be uninformed, to listen to whatever the hell is said on the news. Now, while I could sit here and bash the mass media, they are not in it to spread news anymore. They are in it to make a profit. That's the way it is. Because again, it is a business. Just like schools have become a business. Make money. That is it. They don't care about the truth.
Governments are not supposed to do this.
Oh, no. I'm talking about schools. I'm talking about news organizations. Those are businesses.
Yeah.
The government is supposed to, again, as I said before, representing the people. That is their entire point. You represent the people, you help the people. The government is set up to be socialist. I will say it again. The government, American or what have you, is set up to be socialist. The means of production are not owned by the government. So that means they are not communists. But everybody is supposed to pay taxes. Those taxes are then dispersed to everybody else. That is socialism in a nutshell. And mind you, I have not studied socialism to the point of ridiculous. The fact that you don't hear Brooke in the air, who is, again, a qualified historian, not yelling and screaming at me that I am wrong, means that I am right. Government is socialism. If you pay taxes, or if you are required to pay taxes, let's actually say, you are part of a socialist government. If the police, the firefighters, the military is paid by taxes, that is socialism. Pure and simple, straight up. We are all socialists, or supposed to be. If you fend for yourself, as in take the money in, build the crops, what him, businesses. Meanwhile, businesses, well, let's get into that. Businesses are partially socialist, partially capitalist, because again, they have to pay taxes. So again, you cannot be capitalist without being some level of socialist in this country. If you do not pay the government at all, congratulations, you could be a capitalist, you could be a survivalist, whatever. But at the same time, do not expect anything from that government. Do not expect the police to come help you. Do not expect the firefighters to come put out a fire at wherever the hell you live. Because if you don't pay in, you don't get it out. And that's why I don't understand why people sit there and think socialism is bad. Socialism has given you everything that you have.
Been conditioned to the dawn of the Soviet Union and the Cold War to believe socialism is a bad thing. Hammer in their heads more than Goebbels did.
Well, and that's because the entire ideal was, oh yes, let's make sure that we hate this side that's other than us. Now again, Russia, Soviet Republic, was not socialism. Even the National Socialist Party was not socialist. National Socialist Party was fascist. That's a whole other thing. The Italians, fascist, fascista. When it comes down, when it comes down to the Soviet Republic, they may have called themselves the United Soviet Socialist Republic, but that again was just to get a buzzword for the shinies. They were communist.
Why the Nazis were called National Socialist Party.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't even, here's the funny thing, y'all. The Soviets weren't even true communists. They were modified communists with, I believe, an authoritarian leader. If you're going to have entirely communists, it needs to be from the whole thing. I realize I've tangented a lot, but still. So, America has, ever since the first tax was taken, been, I believe, capital socialist. Because again, if you pay taxes at all, you are socialist. If you get things from the government, you are socialist. Now, is that a bad thing? No. Anytime that you get something from the government, it is meant to be assistance.
You really want to irritate people up in the military, so we'll social.
Oh yeah. I covered that, but I can cover it again. Again, I was in the military. Guess what my checks came from? My checks came from all of you. Every single military member is paid by the taxpayer. So the military, the police, again, every single police officer, every single military member, every single firefighter is paid by the government, whether it be state, federal, or local. All of your politicians are socialist. They are paid by your taxes. You elected them, you can fire them. That is socialism in a nutshell. So any single person, any single politician who screams about the fact that they hate socialists, they hate themselves.
Anyone who screams for Republic on democracy needs to educate themselves on what the republic actually is.
Again,
we cannot have a republic without a democracy, and we can represent a democracy to be a republic.
Yeah, we have lost sight of what we actually are. We are going down this hole of self-hatred to the point where people like Charlie Kirk, people like the representatives in Minnesota, the Minnesota politicians, every single assassination from a political figure down to a trans person is because we hate ourselves and our country so much on what it's become that we want to improve it through the most violent possibilities. And we think that killing somebody who we don't like or we don't feel is enough is the way to do it. It is not. The way to solve a problem is to find out what will helpfully fix a problem, which I know is an entire antithesis of what Charlie Kirk said. However, Charlie Kirk talked about stuff to get views, to get his personal beliefs out there. No different than Stephen Miller, no different, yes, I'm going to say, than Malcolm X. You wanted to solve a problem, and you were going to do it by the quickest way possible. Solving problems is not quick. Solving problems takes time, energy, and the willingness to stand by it no matter what. Patience is important. Tenacity. We will not solve the problems quickly, especially for a country of our size. We are one of the biggest countries in the entire world with a lot of diverse people. Every single state is diverse. Every single county is diverse. Every single city is diverse. The problems we reach are different, and they change on a day-to-day basis because of how fast society is moving, because of how fast the internet moves, because of how fast the human mind works. It is not going to be easy unless we come together and decide what we want solved. We can sit there and blame everybody or blame certain groups that they're the problem, but it's not going to solve it. Only by working together and deciding as a united front to solve the problem from the most right-wing white people all the way to the person of color who is trans. We must come together and decide where we want the country to go, how we want to improve it, and what is going to be done about it. Because until that collectiveness happens, we are doomed to fail and be in complete failure while sitting there pointing the finger at each other while we shoot each other in the head or in the neck or wherever. And eventually, we will have destroyed each other so completely that there will be nothing left, and somebody else will sit here, will walk in and take over with none of us having an opinion, because there will be no one left. We will destroy each other, and because of that, we will destroy America through our own arrogance, stupidity, and violent action, instead of acting like Americans who will sit there and want to make the country better, make the country bigger, and allow ourselves to become some level of what we think is great. But right now, what is being done is not the correct way forward. It is done by a couple of arrogant, idiotic assholes who care about nothing but themselves. And on that happy note, we'll be back again sometime. This is Tech Minion signing off.